things should be good now. Okay, let people come in, then start the stream. All right. Oh, no scope's already here. That's sick. Uh, should make sure the audio is good though, cause it can be pretty loud. All right. Oh wait, no, no. I clicked the wrong button. All right. Yeah. So that's the kind of mistake. It has been 1 minute, but I had already got some of the setup done. So I was like, I should just get in and make sure the audio stuff is good and whatnot. And for that, I kind of need other people's help. So yeah, hey, thanks everyone for showing up. I made the right choice shilling on your stream, SK. All right, let's see. Uh, So SK, we're still really early on. We just did essentially like the first two small chapters, and we're on like the first story of the first story. Uh, yeah. To sum up what happened is, we had a horrible scene of someone's crucifixion and their soul like falling to pieces at the cruelty of that, and then someone waking up and finding themselves in like an abandoned mansion with a mysterious maid who's now showing them different eras in the past of the mansion to try to help them regain their memory. And we're currently on the first of those stories, which is back around the Renaissance in England. There might be some gay here, maybe not. There, it's still really early, but like this is also one of those games where it's long enough and there's enough going on that saying stuff might reveal other stuff. Yeah, so let's start loading a slow killing poison again. Also, the music's another banger because VNs always have killer soundtracks. Oh yeah, specifically the story of this chapter right now. Just a quick review is there's these two siblings. They're rich kids because their families are lords and whatnot, and they're kind of shitty, but they're kind of funny. So we'll forgive them for it now. And yeah, so one day a mysterious maid is taken in. Not our maid. Our maid's all around during this time as well. But yeah. The boys fall in love with her, and there's some drama there, but nothing too bad. But then we got some really messed up stories about a young girl who was locked away in the story, and there's a lot of undertones because some characters are getting weird dreams and flashbacks, which involved like a horrible death and some other things. So a lot going on right now. Yeah, and a banger right away. Now, Nelly, you love the theater. Don't look cross. Nelly was out with a man other than her brother that evening. A rare sight indeed. Oh yeah, there's some huge incestual subtext here, and it is very uncomfortable. And we will maybe not talk about it, but I'm talking about it now, so I guess we're talking about it. So how is the audio right now? Just making sure everything's good. Oh yeah, this music's so good. Oh, also we've talked before. The music gives us a lot of near vibes, and she was quite clearly in a foul mood. I will not stand for this. That I should have to marry a man disagreeable as Arthur. It's unthinkable. The young man at her side was Nellie's fiance, selected by her parents. On any other occasion, she would have snubbed an invitation from any man who was not Mel, but she had little say in the matter. She was, for lack of a better word, forced to go out with him. And oh, how fiercely she had fought against it. Oh, by the way, our narrator isn't some disembodied person, it's the maid. So all of these talking points are characterization for her as well. So, you know, just a good thing to know. She had shoved aside the Abigail, trying to fasten her corset, locked herself in her room, and sobbed for quite some time. It required the combined effort of several of us to get her ready and out the door for her date. Come now, you should at least pretend you're enjoying yourself. Or do you want people to think we don't get along? Do we get along? Well, I want to for what it's worth. What's it worth to you is my name, not me. Are you really going to be like that? I went out of my way to take you to your favorite play. The least you could do is be a little kinder to me. What was it called again? Romeo and Juliet? It's been running for 6 or 7 years now. A family like yours and mine could pay to have a brand new script written. So why should we have to see an old play at a theater full of commoners? Maybe private, but even so. I would rather just have a show put on my estate. Stop talking already. Why should I marry someone like you? I have absolutely no desire to marry you. Whatever it takes, I will stop to this. I will talk to father as many times as I must. Oh yeah, there's also some weirdness around the father, because he refuses to stay at the Rose Manor mansion, which their grandfather essentially bought and fixed up. It was in a state of utter despair. So the mansion itself is significantly older than the family. Please don't make such a scene, it's shameful. There are people around, remember? You represent your family. Besides, our families are hardly strangers to one another. Try as you might, I doubt you can get rid of me. No matter what you say, you can't break this engagement. You don't... Your parents gave you too much freedom, and look what a spoiled little girl you became because of it. Goodness, you're going to be quite the handful. Oh, get off your high horse. No, you're the one on the high horse, Nellie. You're going to be my wife, you could at least put some effort into liking me. What happens when I take you to a social engagement and you act like this? It's shameful to the both of us. This coming from someone who used to call me Lady Nellie. What's your problem? When you choose to act like a lady, I'll glad you call you that again. Goodness gracious. Put yourself in my shoes for a second. I have to marry a bratty little girl because it will help my family. How dare you talk about me that way? You're not a damn princess, open your eyes. If you think talking to your father will get you out of this marriage, you're welcome to try. I doubt he'll have it though. Otherwise you can just go and complain about it to your friends. Oh, that's right, as far as where you don't have any. Enough. As you wish. This is so frustrating. Why should I have to listen to this jerk mock me? I have Mel. I know, if father won't listen to me, I'll ask Mel to talk to him. Mel will be able to convince him. Come now, your favorite play is about to start. Maybe you should face forward. Enjoy it while it lasts. You won't be talking down to me much longer. What? Is that... Wait, Nellie. Get back here. What is that damn child's problem? I didn't give her permission to leave. Oh, Arthur. Father will be sure to hear about this. I cannot have the roads making any more of a fool of me. Casual period misogyny. We might be seeing a lot of that. We might see quite a bit of that. And mayhaps worse. Don't be shy. But so many people are looking at me. That's because you're gorgeous. No, it's because I look strange. I assure you, that's not the case. It is true you have an unusual appearance, but right now the unique color of your hair, your skin, and your eyes all serve to accentuate your beauty. Moscow, you like the dress, and it's cool, it's nice, but I really hate that color of yellow. That slightly muddy brown, on a dress, I'm just not a fan of it at all. Showing my horrible poor taste here again. You sound like a prince, Lord Mel. What? You think so? I mean, I did say I'd be a stand-in prince for you, but I think you're a wonderful prince, not just a stand-in. Which makes you my princess, right? I don't... Oh, you're supposed to say, yes, I am here. You're gonna make me sad. I guess I'll just have to keep working at it until you submit. That's not, that language. Oh, hey, the play's about to start. What am I supposed to be doing? Nothing in particular. Just sit back and enjoy the show. Oh, but there's one thing. Yes? If I start dozing off, could you maybe wake me up? Okay. No. What? Dearest Mel. Nelly? Dearest Mel, why are you... What are you doing here? I asked her to join me. It's nothing to get worked up over. It is, it absolutely is. How many times did I ask you to come with me and you wouldn't? You don't even like theater, Mel, dearest Mel, and you brought her? You're right, I'm not especially fond of plays, but I wanted her to be able to see one. Why do you make such a big deal out of this, Nelly? She's not suitable for you. What? She isn't good enough for you. Why would you choose her? She's creepy and you have no idea where she came from. Don't talk about her like that, Nelly. But you don't even know who her family is. I do. What? Lord Mel? It's fine, you just stay quiet. Like the other maids, she comes from a respectable house. I looked into it. However, circumstances prevent me from telling you what house that is. No, you're lying, that can't be. She doesn't act like a lady, she lacks etiquette, she probably can't even dance. You expect me to believe someone like her's from a good house? Enough already, Nelly. Nelly yelled at me? You have my word, you don't have to worry about her. So please stay out of this, Nelly. It isn't any of your business if I spend time with her, right? But dearest Mel, you need to stop hanging all over me, Nelly, and find something fun. Wait. What are you doing at the theater? Are you here alone? Oh, yes, dearest Mel, about that. I have a favor to ask you. I've been waiting to talk to you about this since yesterday, but I haven't seen you at all. Settle down, Nelly, what is it? Father had me engaged without consulting me, and he picked Arthur, that disagreeable little... Oh, right, that I already know. What? I heard it from Father. That reminds me, you didn't show up at breakfast this morning. I see now, it was because of your engagement. Dearest Mel, is that who you're here with today? In that case, you should get back to him rather than waste any more time with us. You knew I didn't want to get married, Mel. So why? Why didn't you talk Father out of it? Because it's your time, Nelly. If there's someone else you'd rather be with, then, well, you can try persuading Father, but... You're only the prince for me, dearest Mel, and a prince always grants his prince's wishes, doesn't he? I just want to say you'll do that for me, dearest Mel. Lady Nelly, you stay out of this. It's all your fault. It's all because you showed up and played your little tricks on him. I warned you about this rat, dearest Mel. She's not suitable for you. I told you I've had enough already. How much longer are you going to continue to acting like a child? I can deal with you being a spoiled little girl, but how dare you be so derisive to someone else? No, it's me. Lord Mel. Go on, the show's about to start. People are giving us dirty looks. Also, the sheer dissonance in hey brother, I hate this guy and I'm about to be married to him and this is horrible and sucks, and Mel being like, oh yeah, I'm gonna like play everyone and marry the love of my life. I'm gonna like pay people off and have her adopted by an old family. It'll work out. Everything's great. And like yeah, screw your life, Nelly. As soon as my life's going well. Return to your betrothed now. I will apologize to him afterwards as well. Because as much as like the narrative's kind of played him as kind, right? It's like all the times he's shown kindness, it's been the easy way out for him, right? Like, he's never had to acknowledge his own position of power and privilege. It's always just been easier, less shameful. He has had to think about it less when he gave the beggar money, etc. Everything about him is just that's light bit off there. You said you would always be on my side. That you would always be my prince. The time for make-believe is past, Nelly. No, I refuse to believe it. I will not have it. Nelly. Even the way Mel treated her feelings was like, there's something in the way he treated the white girl's feelings where it was like, hey, it's horrible. I want to make you happy. Like, it feels kind of like, but the way he treats it's like, hey, our relationship will work out. Everything will be beautiful with us together, right? And he's not focused on her necessarily. In a way, he does kind of love her, but it's a very unhealthy dynamic. Yeah, he's trying to buy love with compassion. My goodness, that girl. Are you not going to go after her, Lord Mel? No, just let her go. The only place she even has to go is home. I just wish she started acting a little more like an adult. I imagine Lady Nelly simply... She what? No, it just wasn't my intention to get between you two. Don't blame yourself, it's not your fault we had an argument. But you two are so close. Well, yeah, we're siblings, so we're close, but nothing more. I do care about Nelly, but I enjoy spending time with her. But she's my sister, nothing more. Anyway, sorry for making such a scene. You know what? I imagine she left her betrothed behind without saying anything, so I'm going to go apologize to him. We have to keep up appearances. Stay here, I'll be right back. Very well. Master, what are your thoughts on the tale so far? Which of the siblings do you think was in the right, the master, the brother, or the sister? Oh my, I apologize for that abrupt question. Did I startle you? What do I think? Yes, I believe Mel was probably right. He was also surely happier than her. As Mel has anticipated, Nellie fled from the theater, leaving her fiancé behind. She forced her way into the carriage, stopped outside. Probably one called for a different nobleman in order to take her home. Mel's assumption was correct. The only place she had to return to was the mansion. The sun was beginning to set, and as a young lady, she could not simply go wandering through town alone. Nor did she have any acquaintances to take her in. Her world was in essence composed of two elements, her brother and the rose garden. They were the light of her life at Rose Manor. She lived a very isolated existence. When she escaped back home, Nellie went straight to her room, locked the door, and began sobbing. The waves of her sorrow came crashing effortlessly over the levees. Tears streamed through the cracked walls of the dams, blocking her tear ducts. Why? Why won't you help me, Mel? Why won't you take my side? The decor in her room appeared blurry through her damp eyes. Memories of the days she had it redecorated played back in her mind with crystal clarity. She told me she had no feelings for you. That liar, that liar. She let her emotions run wild, breaking glass craftworks, silver plates, designed by famous foreign artisans, flower vases of all sorts of things. It was as though a beast had been set loose in her bedchamber. The vase she tossed shattered against a painting hanging on the wall, spraying water, porcelain, and roses in every direction. It was the portrait she adored so dearly of her and her brother. And in what appeared to her like a metaphor for her life, the frame fell off its mounting and came crashing to the floor. Nellie darted over and scooped it up. The frame had broken, but the painting inside was unharmed. The two smiling children were still the very image of happiness, inseparable siblings gently holding one another's hand. My prince is no more. Though in her present state of mind, that image of happiness brought her nothing but misery. And the worse she felt, the more frustrated she grew at the smiling girl and the kind boy of her past. The princess is no more either? You're not a princess anymore, Nellie. Some other woman has taken your place. I trusted you, Mel. I believed you'd always be there for me. This painting, it's nothing but a lie. That's not the real Mel. That's not the real me. It's all a big fat lie. A lie. I wish this painting never existed. That it was never made. That I never had a brother. This painting. In a fit of emotional distress, she scratched feverishly at the painting she'd once considered precious. She put more force into her fingers than she, or perhaps anyone might have imagined she could. Flakes of paint began falling off the canvas, and in time she noticed something peculiar. Huh? What is this? Writing? Something's hidden beneath the painting? Oh yeah, if anyone else is like SK's still here, yeah. So one of the plot points was the white-haired girl's father was a painter who worked for the family, and then he was disgraced and exiled, and then couldn't find any work, and then lived in poverty, traveling town to town trying to sell his artwork. And his daughter wanted to take revenge on the family, but then they kindly took her in, and they even though she was essentially poor and like etc. And then she felt indebted to them, and like felt extremely conflicted. And then she tried to choke Mel out, and then Mel's like, "Are you okay? I love you. I want you to be happy, etc. You're beautiful. You're precious. Blah 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 blah." While she was attempting to choke him out, and yeah, Mel was extremely down bad. A date? Why would that be hidden? What could it be for? It's about to get wild, and this is the early game. Completed May 1587? 1587? She read aloud the faded, scratched-up handwriting. After staring blankly at the text for some time, the color in her face returned. What is this? How could this have been painted 16 years ago? Nellie is 14. I wasn't even born yet then, and Mel would have just been a baby. Is this not me? Is this not Mel? There's still more writing. Urged on by a rapidly pounding heart, Nellie fiercely scratched away at the painting. Even as her clean pink fingernails were swelled with fragments of paint and blood, she did not stop. She was so overwhelmed by trepidation that she could not stop. She had a horrible premonition that something was about to happen, something indescribable, incomprehensible. This is how I envision your son, and an unborn daughter might look several years from now. Your son and our unborn daughter? So this painting was a painting of the future? Then it was really of me and Mel. No, use your head, stupid. I'm only 14. 16 years ago, I would not have been inside mother. But then who is this? Who is that holding Mel's hand? Who is that with my brother? More there has to be. Ow. Found it. There's more writing. I have to know what this is. Calm down, Nellie. It's nothing to get worked over. I'm sure it's nothing. Calm down and read. There's nothing to worry about. If our unborn child... This is what the writing on the painting said. If our unborn child does not have your hair color, then you will probably not be able to take her in as your own. I will be punished and my life made miserable. And so I pray that this child might have flaxen hair. Though it is sin to wash which she has in her a trace of me, I do hope it is a girl. What am I reading? I don't get it. Someone tell me, what does this mean? A painting from 16 years ago. Hair color, sin. I do hope it's a girl. So, yeah. So we were talking about incestual subtext, but we might have been talking about the wrong incestual subtext. It's Nellie. Let me in. Lady Nelly? Oh, you changed out of your dress. That's a shame. It looked nice on you. It really did look so nice. Almost like you were a princess. Lady Nelly. Say, I've got a question for you. Do you mind? By all means. What color hair did your father have? I beg your pardon? Did you not hear me? Should I repeat the question? No, no. I assumed it would be about Lord Mel. I'm just so curious about where you got that white color from. My father was more tan than white, so I didn't inherit my paleness from anyone. I asked about your father's hair color. Why would you want to? There's no reason you can't tell me, is there? My father, had white hair, but that was simply because he was an older man. I do not think he was born with. Lady Nelly? Oh my. Hey, guess what? I figured it out. I figured it all out. And it was so simple. There's only one difference between you and me. That thing Mel fell for is... Why do you have those? No, no, stay back. Because how can there be a wrong incestual subject and a right incestual subject to be worried about? Is because the white-haired girl is also evidently Mel's half sister from what we can piece together, considering her dad was a painter and who painted that painting and said our unborn child, and that explains why the mother also took her in, because it wasn't about any sort of compassion for the less fortunate or other people. It was that she was her daughter that was forced away with her lover, and that's why the mother took her in. Then we finally reached this point in the tale, Master. If your memory has been refreshed, then we can return to the mansion immediately. Ah, very well then. If you insist, Master, we shall proceed with the story. It was a stormy night, much like the one the white-haired girl had first arrived on. It was as quiet as a crypt in the mansion, not a single light visible in the halls. The house sat and waited for the sun to peek out over the horizon. The darkness is, generally speaking, something that rushes by like a gust of wind as we sleep. The flaxen-haired young man too lay in bed, a pale blue moonlight sporadically streaming through the gaps in his drawn velvet curtains, as he attempted to submit to slumber. He was having a difficulty drifting off, but as time trickled onward, he drew closer and closer to the arms of Morpheus. Suddenly he sensed a presence in the room, much like the one from those nights some weeks earlier. Is someone there? Answer me. Huh? A slender feminine finger clenched gently against his lips. There was no hostility in the motion, but rather a great deal of affection. The silhouette faintly visible in the dark room was the same as the night. A flash of lightning shone through the drawn curtains, illuminating her beautiful white hair. Several silky locks spilled over her shoulders and brushed against Elle's cheeks. A couple soft puffs of air tickled his face as though she were silently laughing. He assumed her finger, held against his lip, was her way of telling him to stay quiet. She began to slowly, delicately trace the outline of his mouth, moving down his cheek, along his jawline, as if over porcelain. You're rather more forward than I remember. Well, I suppose you were always quite daring. This isn't the first time you sneaked in my bedchamber. The boy said in an attempt to conceal his surprise. Do you remember the night she came in to exact revenge on him for her father? Indeed, she had proven herself to be a rather bold girl once already. It's dark, I can't see you very well. Why don't I light a lamp, or perhaps we could open the... Before he could finish, the white-haired girl sealed his lips with her own. In the near total darkness of the bedchamber, the two shadows appeared as one. They remained that way for several minutes. Their kiss was innocent, no more than the pressing together of two pairs of lips. And at the same time, the white-haired girl lovingly ran her fingertips across his skin. When their lips separated, Mel gasped for air. It seemed he had been holding his breath. Slightly embarrassed in himself, he said, Dearest Mel? Nothing. He could not speak. The silhouette hanging above him circling the white-haired girls. Or was it? Because his next words were, Get off me! He reflexively shoved the girl straddling inside. She rolled off the bed, landed on the cold floor, but slowly, gradually, she crawled her way back toward him. This wasn't very nice. Veiled in darkness, she slowly lifted her head, and then there was another flash of lightning. The heavy fabric of the curtains rustled, bolts of light streaming between the gaps. Her flaxen irises glimmered, though in the bluish-white light they took on a twinge of almost golden glow. No need to be so rough. This isn't the first time she's visited your bedchamber, isn't it, Mel? Or did I not kiss you the same way? Tell me, how does she run her fingers across your skin? What does she do when she nuzzles up to you? Stop this madness, Nellie. Why would you do this? Because you like white hair, don't you, Mel? You like white hair, which is why you fell for her, isn't it? So if I have white hair, then you'll fall for me too. Then I can be your princess again, dear Mel. What are you even talking about? He cannot escape from his sister's piercing gaze. Why? What happened? How could she? Questions crashed into the young man's mind like waves in a stormy sea. But none of them found answers, they simply caused him further perplexity. Your hair, what happened to your hair? How did you get it that color? Oh, this? You like my wake? But as soon as the words left her mouth, Mel was in motion, propelled by pure instinct. He clenched Nellie's shoulders tight enough to dig fingers into her flesh. You're hurting me, Mel. What did you do to her? Tell me what did you do? I made her leave. This music is really, really good. And it's looking like she did indeed scalp her. I made her leave. It was a perfectly reasonable decision. She was obviously not a nobility and thus hardly fit to be a part of this household. But there's no need to worry, Mel. I'm here to take her place. You sound like a mad woman. It doesn't matter if she was noble blood or not. She promised she'd stay by my side. So how could you do that to her? I promised you that long before she ever did. And I love you far more than she did, Mel. Have you lost your mind? You're not making any sense. Where is she now? What is she doing? It's always her with you. What more can you want from me? Tell me, what does she have that I don't? What do I have to do to get you to focus on being only me? We're siblings. Don't you understand what you're doing? Oh, I understand it quite well, far better than you, dear Snell. I even know that a former queen was executed for it. But if we don't get caught, there's no problem. Nellie, are you saying you've always felt this way about me? Oh my, you didn't notice, dear Snell? You truly are a dense one. I guess romance just isn't your strong suit. But you've noticed now, haven't you? You know exactly how I feel about you, right? Quit it. Enough. Don't say anything else. Stop having these insane feelings for me. It's disgusting. And what are you laughing about? Poor Mel, content in your complete ignorance. Alright, I'll tell you everything. Mel, you can only love blood-related women. Huh? His cackling sister appeared to him in some kind of inhuman life form. Her actions and incomprehensible exclamations slowly drained him of his strength. What kind of deranged nonsense is that? I love her. She's your sister, Mel. Very funny. How far of your mind have you got, Nellie? Poor Mel. Do you honestly know nothing? Say that her father was a painter? He painted pictures for a living. Well, what of it? For a time, her father painted for her family. You've seen the picture before, dear Chanel. The one hanging in my room with the two of us? That was painted by her father. He did a good job, didn't he? I kept asking and asking until you finally agreed to hold my hand. And how did you feel about that? You were rather embarrassed, weren't you? Do you remember that day, dear Smell? You couldn't possibly remember it. But there's a chance you might remember this. Before we moved to this mansion, we had a painter with white hair. I don't remember any such thing. He was, long ago, a painter in service of the Rhodes family. But the painter did something very, very bad, and because of that he couldn't remain a part of our household. Do you know what he did, Mel? He lay with Mother. My father was chased from your house. If the child had been born with flaxen hair, then the painter would not have been thrown out. The baby would have been accepted as part of the family. But that wasn't how it turned out. The child had white hair. She didn't look at all like she carried the Rhodes family blood. But see, Mother had me. that I'm here is all the proof you need. The girl born 16 years ago didn't have flaxen hair. Up until his last breath, he was only ever concerned about me. He held me in his arms and ran his hand through my hair, an apologetic look on his face. You're talking total nonsense. What proof do you have? If you want to see it, I'll gladly show you. The artist left a message in the painting in my room. Tell me, am I truly wrong? What did that girl tell you? You're lying. What part of it is a lie, Mel? Everything I'm telling you is the truth. Why don't you go ask Mother? I'm sure she would throw quite the fit. Mother wouldn't. The mistress did not send me away when she saw me. Quite the opposite, she took me in as a servant. It never made sense to me. Why would she hire a maid she knew nothing about, someone who just showed up in the door one day? When I asked Mother to make her my maid, she stubbornly refused. From a good house, don't make me laugh. If she were really nobility, she would have given us her name. But Mother was so desperate to cover up her mistake. That doesn't make any sense. I don't believe a word you're saying. It couldn't possibly be true. Wouldn't it be nice if you could bury your head in the sand? But Mel, feigning ignorance is a sin. No, I refuse to believe it. Not a chance in hell. You just don't understand anything. How I feel, how much I've suffered. Do you have any idea how long I've loved you? Knowing that you would never accept my affection? But then, fancy that. You fell in love with your half-sister. Then I should qualify for your love too. Shouldn't I, Mel? Stop it, enough. Shut your mouth. Not another word. I don't believe any of this. Mel! I know you'll never love me. I know there's nowhere for me to run. Say, when we were kids, was that really me? Was I really by your side, Mel? If that painting tells the whole truth, I was never once did I get to be your princess. Not even once. So things are looking on the up and up. Dearest Mel, everyone just loves to dote on me. They're always telling me how pretty I am. Mother does, father does, and all the maids do too. I can do anything I want. So for me, acting like a spoiled child is the only form of rebellion I have. I don't have the kind of freedom you do, Mel. I'm just a doll for the family to play with. When I have visitors, it's only ever for show. So it's not my fault that I don't have friends. Dearest Mel, you're the only one who's ever cared about me more than anything in the world. Dearest Mel, I always knew how I would react if you fell in love. I'd cry my eyes out, I would envy her to death, I would get as angry as a bull. But eventually I would have given up. I knew I could never have it my way, after all. My feelings would never bear fruit. So why did she have to be your sister? Tell me, why? Okay, see you, Wilburn. Have a good one on your stream. Enjoy yourself. Oh, dearest Mel, here you're reading such hard books. Your eyes will go bad if you spend so long staring at the pages. I'll be fine, Nellie. It's not like I'm reading 24 hours a day. No, that's not good enough. If your eyes go bad, dearest Mel, you won't be able to see me anymore. You worry too much. I can see you fine and well, my princess. Your hair glimmering in the sun and your beautiful smile. I can see you clear as day, and that'll never change. Plus, the skies are clear today, so you're even more radiant than usual. You know, this is my favorite season? Winter's cold and summer's rain, I can't stand it. But as it gets closer to my birthday, the clouds go away, and I just adore the sun. Yes, it's almost your birthday, isn't it? Have you decided what you're gonna ask Father for? Not yet. I want pretty dolls and shoes with sparkling gems. I want a pretty dress like the one Mother wears. A list that long is asking a bit much, even for Father. But dearest Mel, I already have what I want the most. So the truth is, as long as I have that, I don't need anything else. Oh, and what would that be? The hairpin they bought for you the other day? Or maybe the song they had written for you last year? None of that, dearest Mel. Then what could it be? Now I'm really curious. What is it that's so valuable to you? That's a secret. Girls have so many secrets, I just don't know what to do. Say, dear Smell, would you run your fingers through my hair? Just for a little bit? What's gotten into you, Nelly? Why are you so hungry for attention all of a sudden? Please, dear Smell. Oh, Nelly, what am I going to do with you? Come over here. And I want to sit on your lap. Yes, yes, as you wish, my beautiful, beautiful little princess. Say, dear Smell, what is it this time, Nelly? Right now, I'm so incredibly happy. Oh, and out of curiosity, who was it that you really cared so much about? In a fevered frenzy, Mal fled from the mansion. Even in early summer, the night was cold. And to make matters worse, raindrops pelted him from head to toe, but that caused him little discomfort, for a far greater maelstrom of pain rampaged within his breast. At night, the town took on a different appearance. Not simply for a lack of illumination, but the people active within it as well. It was not a suitable place for a young aristocratic man to go wandering unattended. The darkness is not only the abode of devils, but of beggars, thieves, criminals, and all manner of things undesirable. But despite that, he continued to run, knowing not where he was to head. He simply went where his feet took him, and where he arrived was the church. Father! Father! God should be able to offer me counsel, to answer all my questions. About that painting, about her, about Ellie's feelings. Not about her lies, but the truth. Please open the door. Open the door! But as you might expect, the door was locked, and the priest showed no sign of responding to his calls. The sound of pouring rain drowned out everything else. His head drooped feebly. He looked like a helpless little calf who'd wandered alone onto a dark, precarious mountain path with no end in sight. Why won't anyone tell me the truth? All I want someone to tell me it's not true. Have I sinned? No, I didn't know anything. I didn't know. No, none of it's true. So I haven't done anything wrong. I'm not at fault, am I? Nevertheless, his solicitor's claims or laughs continued to echo within his head. If he truly believed it to be false, he would have gone to look at the painting. That he could not was an indication that uncertainty had a stronger grip on him. Fragmented images of the white-haired painter fluttering through the back of his mind, but he desperately shoved them aside. What good is the church? What good is theology? What good is God? What? Something moved near the boy. It stood immediately behind and grasped his light dressing gown. He had been so consumed in his own world that he had not noticed the person's presence until they were close enough to touch him. What? Who are you? Standing there was a beggar dressed in tattered rags. He's still begging at the church? The hooded beggar tentatively extended his hand towards Mel, pleading for relief with sad, slender fingers. Were he a generous young man, Mel would have given the beggar something. Were he generous, of course. Lord, get your filthy hands off me. I don't have a damn thing to give you right now. Don't you dare touch me. Suddenly, the beggar's head turned upwards. My eye catches the beggar's. Her hood fell back, revealing a hairless head. Why? And a pair of red eyes grazing bitterly, though with a familiar, distinctive glimmer of mouth. Red eyes. She immediately covered her face and turned to run. It can't be the beggar that's always been here. It would not survive much longer. But you said yourself that it would not survive much longer. How could you be certain she was the same beggar? Wait for me. Perhaps as someone of such high social standing, all beggars appear the same to you. Or perhaps you want to believe your meager generosity made a difference, that you did something of value. I would not say it is wrong to think so. Wait for me. I chase after the fleeing girl. Though I shout for her to stop, she continues to run. The rain is so heavy I'm afraid I might lose her. I'm terrified. But I didn't do anything wrong, did I? I'm begging you, please stop. I just want to talk. She comes to a stop at the corner. Please don't go around this corner. It's you, isn't it? I'm sorry. Why are you apologizing? What I said that back there was terrible, and for that I'm truly sorry. I didn't realize it was you. Please come back to me. If you're concerned with social style, figure something out. And Nellie's getting married off soon enough. Oh, yes, Nellie. Nellie did something horrible, thanks to you. She's lost her mind. She's talking nonsense. But don't worry, she'll be out of the picture soon enough. I'll make sure you're safe. Say something, please. Are you angry? You're angry, aren't you? I'm not angry at you. I'm not. Did you know everything? Did you come to her house aware of everything? What? Did you tell me, please? The priest is around and everything Nellie says is a lie. You're the only one who will tell me it's not true. What are you? Our relationship. I don't understand what you're saying. I see. You don't know. You don't know. It's for the best. Nellie's the only one who knows, and she'll be gone before long. Everything will be all right. Lord Mel, it'll all be all right. Let's go back. I'll make sure you'll never be put in danger again. I'm begging you, stay with me. My appearance is no longer suitable to stand at your side. You saw how unsightly I am back to the church, did you not? Hair can grow back. That's not a problem. Now I truly look the part of the hideous witch. But I am to blame. It was sin for me to try to find happiness in your kindness. What are you talking about? My sin was falling in love with you. No, not what happened to my father, nor how we had to spend our days. There's no sin in that. We have our whole lives ahead of us, don't we? With enough time, this whole tragic mess will be behind us. Things will only get better from here. I'll be your prince, like the one who took the girl to see the outside world. So please, give me your hand. Come to me. Don't leave me all alone. I need you by my side, please. I extend my hand around the corner. I sense her hesitating beyond the bend. I'm begging you. I can't see what's on the other side, but a vision of her reaching out to put her hand in mine wells up in my mind. But that story never had an ending. What? She doesn't take my hand? I doubt the girl ever wrote that letter. She's not there when I turn the corner. Why? How did things end up like this? Where did I go wrong, oh God? Your error was likely your kindness. Thoughtless, half-heartedly spreading your generosity. But that generosity came from your desire to avoid pain, for your own happiness. What should I have done? I can't take this. Everyone was happy. Nellie used to laugh and smile. She once meant the world to me. How did things end up like this? It's not my fault. I didn't do anything wrong. If you pretend like nothing happened, then perhaps they can go on smiling in your head. Regardless, you must follow the path you tread. It is your path alone. The path you chose when in that moment you decide to run. Make the wrong choice in those moments and you shall find yourself on the road to ruin. I would have been better off not knowing. Better off in the dark. I just wanted those tranquil days to last. They're supposed to last forever. At some point, your childhood must come to an end. And that ending may not be the one you anticipated. I can't stand this world. You yearn for the world that would treat you with kindness. What should I do? What should I have done? Someone please help me. You should return now. If you spend too long out here, you're liable to catch a cold. Now, let us return to our own time. Yeah, the maid is both lacks the information she has on this like walk back in time, and also seems to have their own opinions on things, like believing Mel was correct when he slapped Nellie back when. Do we? Is it time to cancel the maid? Though she did correctly identify that I think Mel's every sort of act of compassion he shows is basically purely rooted in his own desires. The crestfallen young man faded into the distance, and the decrepit double doors clackled shut. Through the shattered glass, you could see only the ruins of a garden, not a single rose growing within. You had evidently returned from the past. In the garden, weeds grew taller than people. You found it difficult to look at. A wolf howled in the distance. The children in the sea of roses, the white-haired girl, were nowhere to be found. You and the maids who called you master were the only people present in the mansion. What happened to them next? Oh, master, you would know better than I. Oh my, you cannot remember. It seems this is quite serious then. Worry not, my loyalties lie with you, master. The mansion has witnessed more yet. Let's make our way to the second door. Your hand in hers, the maid guided you back through the kitchen and into the tea room. Her palms were so cold, you felt as though you were clenching ice. Master, do you wish to know the truth no matter what may be hidden within? Or if it is something you'd be happier not knowing, would you rather remain in the dark? Oh, is that so? I wonder about their father. Yes, the flaxen-haired sibling's father. You think he knew about the white-haired girl? If he did, then perhaps he allowed her to stay because of how deeply he loved his wife. Or maybe because he did not want people to find out about her. I expect he too experienced many different emotions. But those pages of his story remain untold. Their parents likely had a turbulent tale as well, but theirs is not of consequence. To whom I could not tell you. So, why is their story not important and this story important? You and the maid crossing through the entrance hall, continuing your trek. At some point, the fire in the fireplace had faded to embers, emphasizing the lack of light within the mansion. The maid took a candlestick and lit it in the cinders. The small flame illuminated her pale face. On a whim, you asked the maid about herself. About me? I'm a maid devoted to your service, master, and as I've said... Oh, what was that? You were interested in my name. You flatter me. I truly do appreciate the question, but you're more welcome to simply call me the maid. Also, it would make me much happier to hear you say my name after you recalled who you are, master. A subtle smile rose to the maid's face, after which she began to lead you down the first-floor corridor. Still holding the maid's hand, you passed in front of a full-length mirror. In it reflected the warm light of the candle, which disappeared out of range shortly thereafter. Yeah, the irony of the painter desperately wanting his child to be like him in some way, to see himself in her, and then that causing this is all, at least in part, causing a lot of this is like, oh no. Which disappeared out of range shortly thereafter. Oh my, is something the matter? Did you come across something peculiar? The maid had not appeared in the mirror, though she was not the only one without a reflection. You've reached the end of the corridor. There appeared to be a doorway, but the door itself was long since gone, leaving only a hole in the wall to frame the stairs behind it. Without hesitation, the maid descended into darkness. You have more interest in this mansion, master, than in a mere maid, do you not? Though it pains me as much to say in your presence, master, this house is cursed. Yes, it is cursed that runs deep. As you just bore witness to, the majority of those who dwell within these walls fall into misfortune. I have served here for many years, and periods of happiness are as fleeting as a sugar cube in a cup of hot tea. Why did such tragedies befall them? If I were to guess, master, it was because you had not returned. When you remember your true self, the mansion's curse should be broken. The next door is before us. It appeared to be an entrance to a cellar. The disconsolate wooden door was visibly wrought in some places, and it seemed it might crumble at a single touch. You could hear the sound of someone devouring meat beyond the door. Maybe there was a beast living within. Before you had a chance to say, you thought it was dangerous. The maid opened the door with a chilling smile on her face. Your first impression was that it smelled of blood. Yo, it's time for the second door. Get hype. 1707. The mansion sat in ruins in that era. Not a soul resided within. Monsters in the wine cellar hype? Yeah, let's go. I mean, this we're traveling at the time, the supernatural stuff bound, you know, monsters in the wine cellar, incredibly plausible. That's not 20 years after. Uh, they were in like the 60s, wasn't it? 1567, I think, was the date they gave. So it's been over a century. Not a soul resided within. The grandeur of the house was lost to the ages. It was in perpetual decline. Not a flower grew in the garden. Dust and dirt blackened the plaster. Cobwebs blanketed the corridors. Ivy shrouded the outer walls. It was not a pleasant sight. As hard as I tried to fight it, I could not stop the mansion's descent into disrepair. The depths of the previous owner's grief, or perhaps despair, was far too much. After the beautiful flaxen-haired family, people stayed away from the mansion. They had no heirs, so their bloodline simply vanished into the depths of history. It had been about 50 years since the house had last had a resident. The forlorn property occasionally appeared as though it had been abandoned for centuries, and the occasional villager who stumbled upon it did not remain there for more than a day. My time there was rather solitary. That was perhaps the loneliest time of my life. Everyone who wished to visit the mansion feared it, and was left without anyone to become its master. I even came to believe that my time serving as a maid would come to an end in this era. However, one day I noticed something out of the ordinary. As servant of the house, I am almost immediately aware of any new presence within its walls, and there appeared to be someone downstairs. Can you just imagine how delighted I was? Though part of me was anxious about what kind of person I might find, the possibility that it could be you had my heart aflutter. So I resisted the urge to rush, and I headed for the basement. The cellar was where red wine, smoked meat, and other preserved foods were kept. By that point, the wine was practically antique. As I had expected, the man had made his way into the cellar. Is anyone there? Although I'm unsure if referring to the man is entirely accurate. Do you hear that sound? Oh my, this is quite something. The very first thing I sensed was an almost unbearable stench. The odor emanated from the man, heightened by the food he had carelessly rummaged through. Blood-red liquid spilling from the wine barrels soaking the floor. His sunken eyes had a piercing wolf-like glimmer in them. His teeth were sharp and yellow, visible as he ripped into chunk of meat. He grumbled in a seemingly inhuman tongue. I was looking at a beast, or perhaps a half-beast. There was another source of odor in the room, though. It had something of a kind of metallic tinge to it, and when I noticed this, I nearly passed out. The red liquid was not just wine, as I had assumed. The beast had, I presume, stolen a weapon from the village. A sword far too nice for him lay on the floor by his side. I could hardly imagine how many people's lives he had taken with that blade. It was visibly wet with blood, even in the darkness of the cellar, but at the same time it had an imposing gleam. The fine, luscious aroma of the wine could not mask the stench of blood and the beast. Holding my breath, and I took a few moments to ponder. Ponder what, oh master, you know. Tell me, were you summoned here by the mansion? Did you come here knowing what kind of place it is? If you were in want of money, you are welcome to help yourself to some of the furniture. I imagine the villagers would be willing to welcome you if you dressed yourself a bit more like a person. Then you can trade the furniture for food and make your way into a larger town. The wolf was able to fool the innocent little girl simply by putting on clothing, after all. That noise, his noise, that's the worst. I kind of love this sort of like screeching, like little pattern for the voice. I'm a big fan of representing voices in like with, for example, this crossed out or like Fate Stay Night's like censored out for like Heracles, like where it's like it doesn't even really tell you or a way to describe it. Oh dear, I wasn't afraid you would understand me. What am I to do? I was in quite the predicament. Nevertheless, it meant a great deal to me that then I had found someone who did not fear the mansion, be they human or beast. So I decided I should give him assistance while doing my best not to agitate him. Say, could you perchance be my new master? The maid's taking this in stride, and we have a monster in the wine cellar hype. And notice we're getting new music again, because this game's godlike. The mansion sat near the ocean. To say it was perched upon the cliff might make it sound rather intimidating, but you could see the beautifully clear sea through the windows, a glittering expanse of emerald and turquoise. If the mansion had been in proper condition, it could have been breathtaking against that backdrop. I even wanted to plant orange trees in the garden. There was a tumultuous era, the sun still shone brightly upon the land, which only served to emphasize the house's unsightliness. You say that's a weird detail to bring around, but notice the description on where the house is. Was there a sea near Mel and Nellie? A sea that shone emerald and turquoise? Yes, perhaps I should give you some more background information. At that period in time, a war had just drawn to a close. The once gorgeous wetlands were infested with crows picking at decaying remains. Bodies of soldiers fallen in battle continually washed up on the shores of coastal villages. The people wanted nothing more than for a curtain to draw on that deeply political contest. And when it finally did, the kingdom with its richly fertilized shores was stripped of its independence and beginning a new era under its new rule. This doesn't sound like where they were before. The people were exhausted, their spirits wasted away, and the splendor of the ocean and sky did nothing to help. In my mind, the beast was emblematic of the times, emaciated and enveloped in the scent of blood. But the war came to an end. Thus, the beast did not have to remain a beast, I thought. Did he? And so I endeavored to make the beast more human-like. And was there a deeply political and contested war that was happening in that area at that time? At this time? Maybe. First I need to do something about his appearance. I would draw a bath, scrub away all the filth, and dress him in clothing left in the mansion. However, having sat unused for 50 years, the majority of garments had been devoured by insects and were of little use. So I searched the mansion top to bottom for anything the beast could wear, heated up some coals, and set to work ironing what I found. At the time, steam irons had not yet been invented. We used plates of iron heated with coals. They somewhat resembled kettles. I even prepared meals for the beast in order to teach him proper table manners. Although with the mansion in nearly uninhabitable state of disarray, there was only so much I could do in that kitchen. And the only supplies I had to work with were what was left in the cellar. As such, I was not able to put use to the cooking skills I had learned in the flaxen-haired family's time. Now, you mustn't eat with your hands. Do you want to get your fingers and face dirty? You eat using a knife and fork. Also, I really like how the gums on the teeth are shown here, right? And so much of the red of the irises. I mean the eyes, yeah. What is the irises? You eat using a fork and knife, see, like this. I feel like I'm teaching a young child. Oh my, what are you holding your head for? Oh dear. Perhaps I should be teaching you to speak before table manners. The maid's taking this quite well in stride, though maybe language should have been first. Worry now, we have plenty of time. You needn't act so frightened. Or perhaps you do not want to be understood at all. Would you be so kind as to tell me your name? You are for now still a guest. It's too soon for me to call you master. Or am I mistaken? Your name, that is what people call you. How about I start by telling you my name? I'm called... Bestia. Bestia. Your name is Bestia. I see. Then that's what I shall call you. Bestia. By the way, if I'm pronouncing this wrong, please, and I'm sure Mosca could correct my pronunciation on this one. He seemed to rather perplexed as to how I was still alive. He had in fact attempted to cause me harm. However, I'm a servant of the house. The beast called himself Bestia. It is a curious thing. When I learned his name, he seemed to take a new importance in my mind. He was not a mere beast, but the thing called Bestia. Master, should I ever have the chance to hear your name, I'm certain you two shall become more substantial at present. But you must always remember, Master, that even if you do not remember your name, and even if you never know mine, you have always held a special place in my heart. And thus began my tranquil days with Bestia. Slowly he began to learn the human tongue. Bestia? Bestia? Except the E. It's pronounced more like the end of an A. Ah. A. Bestia? 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 Is that better? Okay, Bestia. Alright, thank you. Thank you so much. Slowly he began to learn the human tongue. And I was, to be quite honest, rather thrilled. To be certain, I was afraid of the beast. My fear was not so strong as my elation that there was someone else in the mansion, someone to whom I could speak, and someone that might become my master. Lady, you're simultaneously radiating massive top and bottom energy. This is absurd. Come now, you must pull the weeds out of the roots or they'll soon grow back. This is a task that requires perseverance. You do like it like this, see? There you go. Grass. Oh, did you not expect that? What appears to be many plants on the surface is actually all connected within the soil. Oh, this is a task that requires a man's strength. If there's no other servants, they could do it. So I apologize for making you tend to the garden, future master. Or perhaps now that you are all dressed up, do you wish to leave the mansion and find someone to fool as the wolf did the sweet little girl? Made being Schrodinger's gay. Oh yeah, speedrun to the cat box. Have you no interest in remaining in such a disheveled house? Oh, does anyone in chat wanna take bets till with the obligatory visual novel like Schrodinger's like cat box happens? Anyone have some bets? How much further into story you think? Have you no interest in remaining in such a disheveled house? Go on. Not want leave. Oh my, is that so? If you wish to stay, then I shall not stop you. On the contrary, I will gladly attend to you. I'm waiting for the person who is to become a master. Forever waiting. I should be able to watch over you until the day you depart this world old and wrinkled. Do you not believe me? Are you interested in becoming the master of this house? Oh, we will be. I have to wonder if you know what you're saying, though it matters little whether you do or not. Oh my, look at that. Now this brings back memories. This is called a rose. Do you know what a rose is? It's a type of flower. No. Do not know. I see, then allow me to teach you. What you have here is not a real rose. The real rose is wilted and are sleeping in the soil. This is called an accessory. It's something women wear. The beast held out an ornamental white rose in his hands. An object someone sometime meant to give to someone else. Curiously, the white rose was just as stunning as it had been on the day it had been made, despite being buried in the earth for so many years. I hear roses make wonderful gifts. He stared intently at the decorated rose. I had presumed the beast would either discard it disinterestedly or destroy it, but much to my surprise, Bestia held it gently in his hands as though it were something precious to him. Are you perchance considering giving it to me? Oh, so you're not. So, very well. Is there someone else you would like to give it to? In that moment, a thought floated through my mind. The thing I had found in the pool of blood in the cellar was a monstrous creature indeed, but perhaps that was not at its core what he truly was. So I asked him a question. What is that you desire, Bestia? This mansion fulfills people's desires if you yearn for something. What I want. Live peace. Look at that filthy thing. A beast, it's a beast. It's eating goddamn sand, you really that hungry? Beast, you foul creature. Stay the hell back. Get any closer. Filthy beast. And I'll kill you. Several days passed by. As Bestia started acting more like a person, the mansion followed suit, slowly becoming more habitable, though not yet back to its former glory. No flowers grew in the garden, but neither were there weeds infesting it. The dusty corridors, shattered windows, rust-covered kitchen gradually returned to their proper states. Bestia learned how to change his own clothes and how to draw a bath. No longer did I have to wait on him hand and foot. He could take care of a number of things all by himself. What we lacked for food, he acquired from the forest. Never did he go to purchase supplies from the village. Rather, he captured hares and gathered herbs hidden in the overgrowth. There were days without incident, and as though such a life may be want for excitement, peace is something that you mustn't take for granted. Those who have it cast aside, finding the leisurely flow of time dull. Only those who have never experienced it truly know how precious it is. Bestia appeared to be content. He wore an expression of solitary serenity. Someone! Is anyone there? And the one day crack formed of the uneventful tranquility. Is anyone in there? Could you part with some food? I don't need much. Oh, some food and water? Just a little. That's all I need. Bestia looked over at me, seeking my aid. Ironic note, it was a visitor who was truly in need of aid. I pondered for a few moments, decided that I could not simply turn away someone calling upon the mansion. Had Bestia ordered me to not let him in, I would have followed his instructions, but he said nothing. Oh, thank God someone's in here. I was afraid it was deserted. You said you were in need of sustenance? Yes. I don't have it doesn't have to be much. Anything to quench thirst. I got lost and it's been several days. Give me a few moments, I will find... Let him in. A firm, deep voice came from behind me. I was quite startled. When had the beast learned to act so much like a human? When had he learned to speak so clearly and to behave so much like a master? Upon seeing Bestia, a look of terror appeared to cross the wanderer's face for a moment. To my eyes, Bestia was the very image of the head of the house, but to an outsider he probably appeared to be nothing more than a beast in man's clothing. Prepare him a meal and a bed. I suspect he's quite tired. Thank you very much. In time, the fear drained from the man's face. Bestia sat precariously on the border between man and beast. Though he still had his doubts, the wanderer revised his first impression, deciding Bestia was human. As the wolf had fooled the little girl in the forest, he too had succeeded in playing the role of man. I thought I was a goner for a while there, but you really came to the rescue. A meal like this on top of that? You really didn't have to. Though I guess that's not an appropriate thing to say as a meaning. What kind of meat is this? Hare. It's damn tender for rabbit. And here I thought it was beef. You've quite the skilled chef. Oh, is she the one who cooked this? Is she your wife? Oh no, I'm merely a servant. A female servant, huh? Don't see those very often. This mansion's just full of surprises, I can hardly believe it. Lost for days, and since I think I'm dead. There it is. Thinking back on it now, it's miraculous. But why are you two living alone in a house on a cliff? Oh, I beg your pardon. Asking so much questions without telling you about myself. My apologies, just a little too excited to finally see other people. I'm a merchant, I do international trade. Until a few years back, spice exports pretty much all came from one place. But now that we've established a trade routes of our own, My country's fighting tooth and nail to push its exports. And in fact, some have lost a few teeth in the fight already. But that's just how it works. It's a cutthroat world. A sorrowful look on his face. He was clearly putting on a show, though. You do what you must to survive. Confidence in himself and his homeland radiated from that man. I came to this land to do business, but much to my chagrin, I somehow ended up lost in the forest. Had I wandered around for much longer, I'd lost the chance to ever see my beloved again. Your beloved? Yes, sir, I'm constantly on business, so we only get to see each other a few times a year. But she always waits for my return. I'd like to introduce you to her if I ever got the chance. She's a pretty girl, if not especially striking. Is that so? The merchant was a man of many words, and I, for one, do not mind a lively supper table. Though I know not how Bestia felt, at the very least, I was glad we had invited the wanderer into the mansion. He was, after all, holding a proper conversation with someone, and he seemed to be having success concealing his piercing, beast-like gaze. However, I stopped by the village before entering the forest, and I heard a bone-chilling tale there. As soon as the merchant brought up the subject, a palpable tension spread through the room. They say there have been sightings of a beast. It's a creature unlike anything anyone's ever seen before, not a wolf or a bear or anything like that. It even attacked the village once, killing several people. Thankfully, the men managed to drive it out, but the creature is still alive. There's nothing in the world scarier than a vicious beast. So you should keep an eye out. Wouldn't want to accidentally let a murderous beast into your home. At the villager's insistence, I had the smithy forge me a knife. Is that knife? Huh? With you now? Well, yeah, I've got it on me. Only good to defend myself with, but it's better than... That knife. You brought that knife. You're here to kill me with that knife. What? You're going to stab me again and again with a knife like they did last time. That's why you're here, isn't it? What are you talking about? What's got it? What are you talking about? What's gotten into you? Stab, stab, stab. Calm down. Calm down. What are you so worried about? I'm not going to hurt you with this. What? What did you say? It's like to imagine that before Wolf ate the poor little girl, he said, "Is this what I've always looked like?" That beast. What's your problem? What's wrong? Talk like a human. This is me. Stop, stay back. Get any closer and I'll stab you to death. You act like you only just realized that a beast. That's right. I'm a beast. I'll kill them. Stay back. And I'll do the same to you. Help. In his hand, held his sword. Perhaps it had been hidden under the table. Regardless, it was as though he had expected this to happen. The merchant kicked aside the chair, attempted to flee, but Bastia closed the distance in an instant, knocking him back. He had lost his balance and slammed against the wall, but he still made to escape, so the beast stood, walking his back. No, please stop this. Don't kill me. My beloved is waiting for me back home. I can't leave her behind. And why should I care? A dreadful scream echoed through the dining room. I reflexively covered my ears. Please help. Someone, anyone. No one's going to come for you. The mountain's a long way from town. Help that woman. Where did she... Why isn't she here? She was just... You'll kill me if I don't kill you, so I must show you that I will. I must show you that I'm serious. I must kill you or you won't understand. You just won't understand. If I don't show you firsthand, you won't understand. I'll make you understand. I'll make your flesh and bone understand. I'll kill you. I'll kill you. I'll kill you. That's right, I'm a beast. Oh. Ah. Oh. They had been enjoying a peaceful meal around the table together just minutes earlier. So what had triggered this? If I were to guess, the merchant saying the word knife is what caused the beast to snap. A simple, small thing set him off. I could not comprehend it. Bestia, who'd said he wished for peace, was staring down the ravaged corpse of the merchant, with a look of ecstasy on his face. Master, can you understand how he felt? Even just a little? Did he not yearn for peace but for slaughter? So that cool new character with the portrait was not long for this world. And it was a pretty nice portrait too, so yeah. Oh, new character. Alright, that does it for on shopping. The moment we've all been waiting for, snack time. Oh, maybe I should get a snack. Maybe this is the appropriate time for snack time, or maybe not yet. There's nothing better than having a ham sandwich at the park. Oh dear, maybe I should lower my voice when I'm talking to myself. But it's so nice out, I just can't help myself. Yeah, this song, another bop. They've kind of all been bops. There's so many birds chirping, yet it still like manages to be peaceful. Does the weather have anything to do with talking to oneself? No, important food. If he were here, it would taste even better. I wonder when I'll get to see him next. Pauline, Pauline, there you are. Oh dear, what's got you so frazzled, Mom? Oh, Pauline. What is it? Did something happen? What's the matter, Mom? Mom? Pauline? This isn't like you, Mom. It's not like you at all. Tell me what happened. I told you to stay away from men who trade. Huh? Oh, Pauline, my dear daughter. Why must God be so cruel to such a sweet girl? You're hurting me, Mom. Don't squeeze so tight. What's gotten into you? Listen carefully, Pauline. You must be calm and hear me out. Understood? Your lover, the beloved man you wait for, he is dead. Ew, that's not great. The beast's humanity began slipping away from him after the encounter. He'd returned to the thing I'd found in the cellar. Actually, he prowled the mansion's halls looking more barbaric than ever. Despite all the effort he had put into learning to act like a human, he now ripped the velvet curtains off the wall, howling shrilly, stomping back and forth through the hallways and ravaging the garden. I watched him intently, though from a distance. Bestia was not merely a beast, but an out-of-control, bloodthirsty beast. Just a few days ago, we had been tending the garden together, but that was no longer possible. I was quite disappointed. Eventually, Bestia discovered my hiding place. I had not felt regret in a very long time, but I felt deep regret in that moment. More. I don't have enough, not enough. I need more. I need more. I must satisfy these urges. Are you saying peace was not enough to say to you? Did I mishear you when you asked for peace? I was mistaken. Asking for peace won't solve anything. Blood, despair, eyes filled with terror. Those are the things I need. And I've always known it. You said this mansion fulfills people's desires, then... Give me prey. No more hairs, live humans. Why did I ever teach him to speak human language? Before long, the mansion granted his wish. Once a week, a villager or traveling merchant from somewhere would wander into the forest, ending up at the mansion on the cliff. Though something felt suspicious about the man who greeted them at the door. On surface, he looked like a proper nobleman. So they all eventually chose to trust Bestia. The mansion had an air of loneliness about it, but it was adequate to provide rest for their weary feet. There was food and a bed, and most comforting of all, there were other people. The lord of the house treated the lost souls like esteemed guests. He poured them fine wine and had me cook for them. No one suspected in the slightest that he was a beast. He put on a reasonably convincing act, because yes, I had taught him how to behave like a master. The visitors all went to bed contented, but as I'm sure you can imagine, master, they would never see the light of day again. The penetratingly bright sunlight particular to this area. It's a beast, it's a beast! You disgusting creature. You hideous monster. Kill him! If that's how you humans want to do things, then I'll play your little game. I'll play it even better than you. I'll kill you. I'll slaughter you. No, please, don't. That's it. Cry for me. Beg for your life. Pray for my mercy. Weep and struggle and suffer and die. No one understands. No one can possibly understand my despair. What did I ever do? Was it just because I'm a beast? When did I become a beast? Why do beasts have to die? Beasts are savage and so they must die. I'm a beast, therefore I am savage. In which case, I'll kill them. I'll show them what makes a beast so charming. Moonlight crept through the torn velvet curtains, shining down upon the blood-soaked beast. It was a sight that would incite terror in anyone. Look at this, no one can stand up to me. Humans will have no chance against beasts. More, I need more. Give me more prey. The magic continued to sate the beast's demented cravings, sending not one but multiple villagers into his claws, and to these blood-stained walls of which echoed the monstrous howls. Stop, please, I'm begging you, spare me, oh God, oh God. Sorry, I'm not familiar with your God. Sorry, I'm not familiar with your God. Beasts have no need of God. I have a wife and a son back at the village. Please let me return to them. Why don't you bring them back to me? I'll send the same place you're going. I'm with child. Please let me go. Are you now? In that case, I'll kill the baby first. I'm just realizing maybe I should have put a content warning. Sorry to anyone. I'll make sure for at least most of the rest of the events. You can expect some horrible murder and cruelty in this chapter, though. So yeah, sorry once again, because like that had just completely slipped my mind. You dead, monster? That's right, I'm a monster. And by killing, no one can defy me. I have to show the world that beasts are the most frightening things on this earth. The beast began to change his style, making sick banquets out of his kills. Some days he would tie his guests in the sun, playing with them for hours until they finally died. Some days he would drain them of their blood and bathe in it. Some days he would spread them out on the table and feast upon them. Every week another atrocious party. He did everything imaginable. As a faithful servant of this house, I am confident I can do most anything I'm asked. Though you can be surely imagine my surprise in having to use the cooking skills that I learned while serving the flaxen-haired family to do that. I can only wonder if it actually tasted any good. Bestia's peculiar soul was always with him for his twisted banquets of self-gratification. However much blood stained it, it never lost its sheen. It was those sword drank the flesh of humans. Master, can you imagine how wretched I felt? The mansion, once a beautiful sight to behold, reeked of death and acrimony. The stench of rotting flesh seeped up from the cellar. Even the years it spent forsaken in ruins were preferable to that. Or perhaps I had only myself to blame. It was I who'd invited the beast into the mansion. More, not enough. There isn't enough to satisfy me. Bestia still sought to hold more of its perverse parties. lost villagers were no longer enough to quell his urges. He was indeed a genuine beast, and in time this is what he began to wish for. Can't you give me any better prey? Something truly exquisite, the perfect prey to quench this maddening thirst of mine. Do you know what he meant when he asked for the perfect prey, Master? Perhaps a hero or someone courageous enough to stand up to him, with whom he could enjoy a battle to the death. Perhaps a dazzling young imp to satisfy his other primal urges. Perhaps what he wanted was not human at all, but a demon or a phantom. I would soon find out as the magic attempted to grant his wish, bringing yet another guest to the house on the cliff. Ah, laughter. If the devil guides us, if God guides us, then perhaps I could accept this with faith. And it makes sense that I'm here. Is anyone there? I've lost my way. Would you be so kind as to spare me a little food? Ah, there. There it is. There comes the poor little offering. They never learn. They just keep coming again and again. The mansion keeps granting my wish. I'd be glad to provide you some food. And you're welcome to stay the night. Get some rest. I will have a room prepared. Huh. The white-haired girl. Then I suppose I shall take you up on your generosity. I've been wandering for a very, very long time. What was that, Master? You recognize her? I imagine you would. That white hair, those red eyes, skin the color of freshly fallen snow, and that flawlessly beautiful visage. You could not possibly mistake her for anyone else. And no, it is not someone who happens to resemble her. I can understand why you would be surprised, Master. At first I could hardly believe my own eyes. The wanderer knocking at the door that day was the very same fair-skinned young woman who visited the mansion so many years earlier. The white-haired girl must have spent many, many a night in the forest. Her crystalline skin was covered in red scratches from where she had been brushing against stray branches and tree bark. She had even lost her shoes and was standing there barefooted, looking quite disheartened. But that didn't make her any less beautiful. In fact, you can just imagine the dense forest canopy parting to allow the sun to shine down upon her. Yeah, the maid is hard confirming. This is not an error. This is not a coincidence. This is not someone else. It's her in some capacity. The beast appeared surprised by her angelic beauty as well. It seemed as though all the madness had drained from him in that moment. He said nothing, but his eyes told all. He was entranced by the sight of her ruby-red irises, her pure white hair. Pardon? I'm a beast. This is what I asked for. Something to quench my thirst. You're allowed to be happy. But as I said it was only for a moment, so rejoice. Imagine how gratifying it will be such a beautiful woman writhing in throes of death. Follow me, I will have a bath drawn as well. And once the moment had passed, the beast was barely able to contain the wellspring of madness within himself. He wanted nothing more than to run his sword through the white-haired girl at that very instant, to torture her, to defile her. He attended to her wounds, served her supper, and drew a bath for her. And afterwards, the beast even made to provide her with a dress to wear. Even the outfit she had only worn for one night, so many years before, was there, waiting for someone to put it on again, for her to put it on again. He said she could choose anything she liked. She, being a modest young woman, said she needed not such fine attire. And what a shame that was. I too wished to see her in her dress once more. I need not such fine clothing. You needn't be modest. No, that's not why. Are they not your liking then? No, my apologies. You're very generous. Foolish girl. Smiling and calling me generous. I was simply imagining what a pretty sight it would be. The sight of her fresh blood spattered on it. The sight of her life slipping away in it. I'm glad that after wandering for so long I ended up here in this mansion. In a few hours you'll be feeling the exact opposite. Get all the rest you need. I shall see you again in the morning. I thank you. Bestia made his way out of the girl's bedchamber. His mask came crumbling off after only taking a few steps. That's precisely what I wanted. Oh, just imagine how such a beautiful woman will scream. How she'll beg for her life. Hey, are you there? Imagine us giving me a perfect offering. Hey! Is she not there? Is someone there? Yes, I came by to ask if there was anything you needed. I cannot offer you anything extravagant, not like before, but I'm here to provide you with anything in my capacity. I appreciate the offer, but I need nothing. Being allowed to stay the night is more than enough. Do you work here in the mansion? Yes, indeed, I do. I've been here for a very long time. A very long time. You might think this is an odd question, but have we met before? Something about you seems familiar. And I get a feeling I've been in this mansion before. Yes, we have met. It was quite some time ago, though. When was it? It was an unimaginably long time ago. Do you remember a boy and girl with flaxen hair? Flaxen hair? I apologize. My memory fails me. Do you not remember me either? I see. You should probably not push yourself to remember then. There were joyous times and there were less than joyous times. But would you be so kind to answer one question? What might your name be? My name is... I see, so you are... Again? You should get some rest. I will make tea for you in the morning. Also, go on, close your eyes. But Bestia never waited for morning to come. With a sword that smelled of blood hanging from his hip, the beast slowly, ever so slowly, crept toward the room where the white-haired adult slept. The time was soon approaching for the bloodthirsty beast to paint the walls of the young woman's blood. To turn her bedchamber to a gore-splattered altar upon which he would offer her up to the devil. However, when he opened the door, the beast could hardly believe his eyes. She was not asleep, but sitting there as if expecting Bestia's arrival. Oh, why are you awake? Did you not go to sleep? I heard footsteps, so... And what were you planning to do when I got here? Surely you didn't think we'd simply have a nice midnight chat. I was hoping to ask what it is that you wanted. To ask what it was I wanted? Do you even realize what you're saying? Do you not see what is in my hand? You know exactly what I came here to do. Aren't you going to beg? Aren't you going to plead for your life? Aren't you going to ask me not to kill you? If it's necessary, but is that what you want? What I want is something much more gratifying than your pleas. I want to hold a banquet. It's not enough, no matter what I do, it's not enough. But you will be enough to satisfy me, to quench this unholy thirst completely, wholly, filling me to the bursting point. You want to know what I desire? I desire to devour you. Bestia shoved the girl back, slamming her into the mattress. He then stabbed his sword through the sheets beside her, looking down upon the girl, moonlight at his back. Clenching her slender throat with one hand, he withdrew his sword once more, holding the tip but inches from her nose. No matter how much blood it drank, the sword continued to shine gloriously as though it had just come from a forge. It was an awe-inspiring, tear-shedding blade, the sight of which would cause anyone to imagine misfortune about to befall them. Go on, mock me, ridicule the hideous barbaric beast standing before you. From the moment you saw me, you thought me insensibly, no? But you averted your eyes, because I had food for you, because I gave you a place to rest. You pretended not to notice the beast. This is retribution for you damned humans. So beg for your life like they all do. Cry, plead for mercy. If you say that you're ugly, then I must be equally ugly. What came from the girl's mouth was neither a plea, nor an insult, nor a scream. Fully grown men had wept before him, and yet a slight young woman did not. Despite this terrifying beast being upon her, moments away from extinguishing a life. Even I almost shrieked in fright. Bestia could believe neither his eye nor his ears. Do you not fear me? Can you not see what I'm about to do to you? What am I to be afraid of? I'm threatening to murder you, to rip at your intestines with these claws and watch you die in agony. I enjoy it more than anything in the world, filling others' hearts with fear. The more lives I take, the more I enjoy it. I'm a beast driven by madness. What he expected was for the beautiful girl before him to be desperately imploring for mercy. He wanted nothing more than to see despair seeping in every corner of his red eyes. For he believed that to be a truly sublime moment, euphoria unlike anything he'd experienced before. Bestia prodded her with a singular sword, poking a slit in skin smoother than silk. You mean to take mercy on me because you see me as pitiful? But she did not do as the beast wished. She looked upon it with sympathy rather than fear. This rattled the beast. He had never once seen anyone respond to him that way. What possessed you to say that? What on earth is going through your head? Mercy, mercy, do you not comprehend this situation? How can you be so calm? Scream, cry, shout, beg for me to spare you. Throw yourself at my feet. Throw yourself at my feet. Otherwise I'm a beast that never challenges killing. To me, you appear to be a person. You're lying. Listen to the things I say and you respond with your own words. I was taught how to speak. I'm a beast. But who speaks human language? But you think? You use your mind to come up with responses, and you hesitate. If I am a human, then why do they disparage me so? Why do they reject me and try to kill me? Because I'm a beast. A repulsive beast. That's why, isn't it? I will do nothing to hurt you. We are alike. Alike, don't be ridiculous. How can you say you're alike when you're as beautiful as you are? There's nothing beautiful about me. What value does outward appearance have? You've suffered much persecution, which is why you tremble in fear. I am not trembling. I am not afraid. I can hear the cries of your heart. What on earth is wrong with you? Why are you not afraid? Why do you not scream in terror? I am afraid, but more than fear. I feel like I now know what my role is. Your role? If you will have me, then I would like to remain here in the mansion. Are you mad? I will eventually kill you, torture you, put you through hell, make you wish you were never born. That does not change my mind. Please allow me to stay. I find it very hard to believe that what you want deep down is to hurt people. And I get the feeling that I'm meant to be here. That is my role. Bestia was at a loss. He was perhaps afraid of this girl who did not fear him, and even attempted to embrace him. She behaved too differently from all the other humans he knew, who only ever harassed and pushed him away. Why are you so kind to me? To this beast, this murderer? Bestia's sword slipped in his hand, hitting the hard floor with a metallic whine. When the sound died down, the white-haired girl extended her hand toward the beast with the utmost affability. Her fingers were white as freshly fallen snow, something this area never saw. They traced his distinctive frame, they ran along his unusually shaped nose, they slid across his rough yellow skin, and they drifted around his rather small eyes. The beast trembled once more, this time not out of twisted desire from deep within, but from unimaginable comfort of physical contact. Her fingers moved so gently, so pleasantly, wrapping him in their warmth. Are you crying? A single teardrop slid down the arc of her finger. Looking into her clear eyes, Bestia came to a realization, and at that moment he felt somewhat dismayed. You are without sight. Taking the throes of his primal urges, the beast had not noticed, but there was an emptiness in the girl's eye. She appeared to be gazing far into the distance, not focused on the man despite being close enough to touch him. Tears had begun running down Bestia's cheek earlier when she had called him a person, but it was not until one of those droplets had slid across the back of her finger that she had realized. She would indeed have no need of extravagant dresses. After all, she could not see what she was wearing. That is correct. I'm blind. Whoever decided that reality is only that which can be seen. I know not what appearance I have. In the darkness everything is as one. There is no difference between beast and man. If you're a beast, then I too must be a beast. To call the girl a beast would be paramount to eating sugar and insisting with salt. Do pardon the trite analogy, please. But you know rather well, master, that the white-haired girl is not at all what you would call a beast. Not simply in appearance, but all the way down to her core. There was nothing beastly about her. Her words brought him pain, but the beast still felt on some level that he wanted to keep her at his side, to see what would happen. His next words were in large part impulsive. I am grateful that you cannot see. Without exception, everyone who'd wandered into the mansion had lost their lives before the sun rose the next morning. She was their first visitor who had not met this fate. Over time, Bestia's madness gradually subsided. He even began to seem rather tame. You would hardly believe the same beast who had once reveled in his perverse festivities. He was, I imagine, at a loss for how to behave. I too would be, flushed in the constant presence of such beauty. It was not just her appearance. She said that she wished to live with him, a beast who had committed countless atrocities. Perplexing indeed. What is the matter? Do you honestly not fear me? Yeah, huge Beauty and the Beast vibes, but also way more murder than at least a lot of the sanitized versions we have. You appear to be afraid to you? No, you do not. But you would. If you could see me, you would react the same as everyone else. You would mock me, you would despise me, you would want to kill me. You don't know what I've done because you cannot see. I enjoyed it. I basked in their terror. So why do I now want you to find out? I don't want you to know how many people I've tortured, how many I've slaughtered, how much blood I've imbibed. All the horrible things I've done. Horrible? I'm aware what I've done is wrong. But I relished in it. I wanted it for so long to slaughter them. I desperately desired to see blood, human blood. What is it I crave, murder or laughter? I said that I had no need for peace, yet here I am. Is something the matter? No, some tea. Oh, shall I make some? Are you thirsty? No, I made some tea. It's probably cold by now. I thought you might want some. You don't. No, I'll take it. What are you laughing for? Because I'm happy. Is it to your liking? Is it to your liking? It's better. Their life together began quietly, their days without event. They had no extravagant meals, there were no swaths of guests lending life to the mansion's hall, but there was also no one screaming in fear for their life. It was the peaceful life Bestia had lost, and he had returned once more to that quiet realm. What's the matter? You're always so quick to notice my presence. My world is one of darkness, so I have a high sense of hearing. What is it like? How do you perceive the world? I can't imagine living in complete darkness. Occasionally I can see light. Light? Yes, not a radiant light like the sun, but a soft light floating in the darkness. Like candlelight, I suppose. That only perplexes me all the more. I find it difficult to understand what you're describing. Is that so? It's difficult for me as well. I'm not sure how to explain it. But it's not complete darkness. I can sense your presence, for instance. And I can tell how windy it is from the way the windows vibrate. And also, I also feel as though I can sense the wavering of emotions. The candlelight begins to flicker erratically. From fear, intense sorrow, or other similar emotions. My emotions? I do not know. It could be yours, it could be mine. This mansion's a very peculiar place. The candlelight is always wavering, and yet it seems somehow stable. It makes me feel as though it's where I belong. I don't think I understand. I'm a beast, and so I lack the intelligence. But you? I'm going to go hunting. Is there anything you would like? Whatever you like. Alright then. If you find any fruit, that would be nice. Aha, it's sour. You picked it up before it was ripe. I didn't know. Is that a bad thing? I don't know anything. I cannot see, but if fruit is still green, you're not supposed to eat it yet. What color are these? Green? No. Blue? Shall I give you a hand preparing supper? I cannot ask for the help of someone who cannot see. You're hurting yourself. Oh, the green, not blue, or blue thing's kind of funny, actually. Don't worry, I can tell for most of the part where things are by touch and sound. Are you worried? Worried? Worried. Worried. The thought of blood dripping down your finger doesn't excite me. What's going on? What on earth has happened to me? If I appear to be in any danger of harming myself, please let me know. Then you have nothing to worry about. You do not seem any more comfortable in the kitchen than me. She always cooks, though. Where did she go? Huh? She always comes when I call. I had hidden myself away. Basically, I had learned how to go about his daily life without my assistance, and the two of them had no need of others in their peaceful world. Oh my, what is the matter, master? I was not lonely at all now. It was an absolute pleasure simply watching them. I mean that. It was not my role to be at his side, nor was I one to be at hers. If she could make Bestia into the match house, then my presence was unnecessary. I appear when I am needed, and I appear to serve the Fox and her family. And nothing more. If they sought a servant, then I would show myself. Yes, certainly. After some time, they began to sleep in the same bed. Oh dear, no, not for the reasons you imagine, master. Your thoughts know such a thing. Though they had slept in the same bed, they did not lay together. They did so, it seemed, because they were more comfortable in the same place. The two acted more like family than lovers. Hey, hello. Are you asleep? No, I'm awake. Is the candlelight wavering? Right now it is very calm. I see. Say, tell me about your childhood. Well, me? Won't you? My childhood? Yes. I have no such stories to tell. When I was a child, I lost everything. My mother, father, brothers, everyone. So for as long as I can remember, I did not have a father. I lived alone with my mother, but I never felt like that was a bad thing. Was she kind? Yes, very. She was a compassionate woman. But we were poor, and because I cannot see, my mother was the only one who could work. She would be away for long stretches of time, supposedly because she served at a respectable house. I do not know whether or not that was true. Perhaps she was doing much more demanding work. I never asked. I believed not asking was best for her. From time to time I would receive letters from her. Someone who lived nearby them read them to me. The letters went something like this. Life in the mansion is difficult, but everyone treats me well, so they say I do good work. I'll be back with more money soon, so you be a good girl. Other than that, she allegedly expressed some concern for my health and safety, as well as repeatedly saying how much she loved me. You have a good mother. I did. Nearly everything I remember my mother saying to me was written in her letters. So much kindness and warmth. Why do you not live with her now? How did you end up here in the mansion? Before long, she lost her life at a place of employment. I was sent the money she had earned. I was, I imagine, enough to smile on. When my mother was alive, she often lamented my badness. If only you could see, she would say, I could show you just how extraordinary this world is. So I decided to visit a renowned physician in order to fulfill my mother's dream. A physician in this country. However, upon examining, he said he could not restore my sight. Dejected, I was on my way back home when the bandits attacked. They robbed me of the money I had brought to pay for treatment. I lost everything my mother saved for me, the money she gave her life to earn for me. I failed to repay her in everything she did, which cast a dark cloud over my eyes, my heart. My world was always been wrapped in darkness, but at that moment I was in the deepest abyss. There was not even a speck of light. I was a complete loss. With nowhere to go, I simply wandered, no destination in mind. And that was when I miraculously arrived at this mansion. It was as if I was been summoned there. You were being summoned by the mansion to fulfill my cravings. But it didn't end up that way. I wonder if the mansion is disappointed. I see. I apologize for not having a brighter tale to tell. Imagine you're hoping to hear joyful childhood memories? No. Did they hurt you? Pardon? The bandits. When they attacked, were you hurt? You're so compassionate. I am no such thing. I am not compassionate. I was perfectly fine. I took a few scratches, but nothing you need to worry about. I see. I believe that I'm happy now. I'm unable to regain my sight, and I haven't the money to return home. But I believe I left in order to come here. Is your life right now happy? I am terrified. I'm volatile. I'm growing accustomed to this more comfort. I'm afraid of losing her. A beast should not have these feelings. Murderous beast. Take this. What is? It makes a good gift, supposedly. I was planning to throw it out when I learned that, but I couldn't. I felt like I was meant to give it to someone. That could only be you. It is a fake white rose. A white rose accessory. Do you not want it? No, I do. I just, for some reason. Never mind. Thank you, I appreciate it. So my throat's starting to hurt, and I feel like we've gotten a decent way into the second door. This game is gonna have a lot of vibes. We're still relatively early on in the story, and sadly my voice is starting to hurt a bit now, so I'm gonna be cutting off the stream now. I just want to thank everyone for being here, and yeah, there's a lot of interesting stuff going on here to think about. So I hope you'll join me again next Wednesday, and yeah, also this Friday I'm going to be streaming Ultra Kill if is anyone's down to see Act 2 Layer 1 Greed, which is the coolest FPS single player FPS I've ever played, and it's super sick and awesome, and you can do really cool things in it, and I hope to show that off this Friday. Anyway, yeah, I really love Fata Morgana, and I hope I'm not gonna mislead you by saying, cause you disappointment by saying it gets better from here. It's really good and lovely, and I it's one of my favorites actually. So, yeah, stream's over. So goodbye, and have a good night, everyone. Bye. Wait, 1 second. I should see if there's anyone I want to raid. Just give me 1 second. Yeah, I'll raid Wicked Wheelbarrow because they left the chat. Sorry. 1 second. Or him? No. Or okay. Or her? No. No one knows. Okay. That should be good. Okay. / raid Wicked Wheelbarrow. Oh, thank you. Okay. Just 1 second. I need to get something wrong. Yeah, rating for wheel and yeah. Okay, let's get ready.